Warmachine is a tabletop fantasy war game that uses miniatures, such as the ones you see here. It's produced by a company called Privateer Press here in the United States. I first heard about Warmachine about 15 years ago when I was playing another tabletop game called Warhammer 40,000. The competitive scene with it had gotten ugly, to say the least. Every game ended in an argument, an occasional fist fight, miniatures thrown, stuff like that. So really, I was looking for a more rule-oriented game, I guess you could say, where the rules are more clear. I was looking for a game designed for competitive play, and I looked around and I discovered Warmachine. I got into it when it was known as Mark 1, when it was just Warmachine Mark 1. And I just had like one guy to play with, and I played for a few years before selling off my minis completely, probably 7, 8 years ago. When I moved recently, a couple years ago, there was some talk of getting it off the ground in the area, but it really didn't go anywhere. But I still bought in a little bit and just kind of put the stuff on the shelf. Then a new guy came to town named Kyle, and Kyle came from Starkville, Mississippi, where they have a club where they played Warmachine regularly. And I was really excited about seeing it getting off the ground here. We got it organized a little bit locally, and he told me about this tournament in Starkville, which is about an hour and a half away, and asked if I wanted to go. So I figured I'd go along and shoot some video, and well, this is it. See what you think.
So what were your thoughts on Waffle House as just in general as breakfast today, perhaps as a company?
It was fantastic. As a company, I'm not too sure. But all I know is that 2 eggs over light may be making a reappearance in about 2 hours.
All right.
Somewhere around there.
Well, you didn't get your coffee to go, so that won't help.
Yeah, denied. Oh, Niecy. Niecy, why? Why do you hate me so much? Niecy's a player hater. I won't call her.
Had to wait a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like it was worth it.
She knew she gave you the coffee, you'd be in a situation later.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. She was trying to watch out for my kidneys. Not kidneys.
Yeah.
Kidneys have to do with coffee.
So Kyle, how'd you get into Warmachine?
So Warmachine, probably, golly. When did I get into Warmachine? So, near the end of 5th edition Warhammer, maybe right after 8th edition Fantasy. We were kind of looking for something to fill the void. Maybe in between. I'm not entirely sure. But we started playing, somebody had a battle box game, and they gave me a little demo of 2 battle boxes. I actually got to play a Minoth battle box versus probably Kador or something. Got demolished, creamed utterly. But just having the cards and the rules, it made more sense to me. I kind of like the activation sequence. I like the caster kind of being like a planeswalker if you're playing Magic. Just enjoyed the game, and it's pretty much been hooked ever since. I took a little brief hiatus around 6th edition 40K because I wanted to try out the new game and see what it was all about. But came right back around to Warmachine once I realized I just still didn't fill that niche that I was looking for. And been happy with it ever since. I still play it a lot, and Vassal, can't preach the awesomeness of Vassal if you don't have access to regular gaming whenever you want it. Vassal Warmachine is a great way to just play around with having something to do in your free time.
So what armies do you prefer, Warmachine-wise?
Well, right now it's probably Hordes, playing a lot of Scorn. That's what I'll be playing today. I'm taking them to Adepticon with me, and so I need to get as much practice as I can with them. I'm actually playing my tier list, so I don't get to have all the neat goodies, whether I'm bringing in minions or mercenaries or whatever filler that I might need. So I'm kind of playing with a little bit with my hands tied on my list today, but it's getting me good practice and helping me choose the list I want to use at Adepticon. If I had to pick my favorite faction in the game right now, probably still looking at Minoth. I love my Scorn though, but Minoth is just something about setting stuff on fire and all the buffs
What did you start with?
Oh gosh, yeah. Started with scoring. Started with scoring pretty heavy, and then one of the club guys was trying to get rid of his men off on the cheap, and I was like, whatever. I can't say no to a good deal, and I had no Warmachine army, so I snatched it up pretty quickly. And then I've got my Rulic army. I do have the dwarves. I love the look of the dwarves. Something about short little stubby guys with giant seismic hammers. Yes, I am not putting my hands on the steering wheel while driving.
So we're sort of stopped, so it's okay.
It counts. But yeah, I guess I started off with scoring. Still don't own the whole faction yet. I'm on my way. I gotta get the mortal side, all the constructs and the kind of the non-military looking side of them with some more of the, you know, like the supplemental items like the immortal units, the extollers, stuff like that.
Now I want to say your name's Roger.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Say hello to the camera, Roger.
Hello, camera.
What made you get into Warmachine?
Kyle. I moved up here and I was going to do Warhammer. But then
Fantasy or 40K?
40K. 40K. And then I was looking into Tau or Necrons. But then there was a brief hiatus of everyone in the group. Not just a few people. Everybody just kind of disappeared for a while. And then when we got back in touch a month ago?
Yeah, about a month ago, I'd say.
He was like, well, everybody's getting started up on Warmachine. There's a lot of new people starting up, or a lot of new armies.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to take a look at it. Watched a tutorial video, and they were talking about the ret. So then I went and looked at them.
Talking about the what?
The retribution of Cyrodiil.
Retribution.
The angry elves.
The racist.
Racist angry elves.
Angry elf, yes. Very much so.
So have you bought in much at all, or?
I have. I've already got a 35-point army. Not painted or put together or anything yet, but that is a work in progress. I do have a battle box currently that's put together, not painted, but I can still play with it. Get some of the ground rules. I have the core rule book already. I may have the army rule book that I acquired through various means on the internet, just to look at, get some of the stats of. But besides that, I have sunk not too much in it actually. It's cheaper than I thought.
Yeah, it's a much cheaper game.
It's cheaper than I thought.
But eventually you're going to want to have two 35-point armies,
Right,
and you're going to want to
exactly.
have, I need to branch out from just Retribution. You're already talking a little bit of trolls, so, you know.
Right, yeah. It's a gateway.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a gateway.
Dude, it is. I'm getting you hooked. I'm a crack dealer. That's all it is. That's all it is.
He works for Pirateer Press. He's got
class.
stock.
Dude, hell yeah. So I'm an underground press ganger. I just be pushing that shit, son.
But yeah, the red default colors looked awesome, and that's pretty much what got me turned on to them. And then I found out later that it's gonna be impossible to paint. So
I thought it was just white.
it's I actually don't have it on me.
It's white.
It's white, and
very
they've got
light
a
looking, yeah.
turquoise inlaid in it that kind of shines.
Oh, okay.
But the white is hard to paint, and the turquoise inlay, I'm pretty sure I can't do. I have no artistic ability. So I'm almost certain I can't do the turquoise glow.
Now you know you can always contract out. That's always an option. There are lots of internet services and stuff like that.
Well, I do know that, but still, something
Fine.
about somebody else painting my figures just doesn't seem right. Whether they're just primed or painted, they're gonna be by me.
See, I have no qualms about letting someone else paint them.
I do if I can pay the money.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because then I'm like, well, that's money I could have spent to buy more figs.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's I'm right there with you.
So what can you tell me about this tournament?
This is the first tournament we put on in a while.
Looking for a
Actually,
Look at me being anyway.
there it is. A lot of us have been kind of busy. Second one on the list. Which I get a moment. But yeah, here at the club we
Which is the Starkville
Hobby Club. Yes.
Okay.
Usually what we try to do is give everybody an opportunity to try different styles of play, particularly for Warmachine, since tournament play is so much different than casual play. in a lot of people's experience, and for the most part, we're a more casual club, but every now and then we like to put on a little event for all the people that are involved in the club, and give them an opportunity to kind of sweat it out using the time clocks and you know, the specific scenarios and everything else. And you know, it's also kind of cool to be able to take home a coin every now and then.
So what kind of tournament is it?
It's a Steam reward tournament. So we're doing a 35-point list, all the standard 2013 Steam roller scenarios. Not a lot of surprises really. And I think the one thing that might throw a little bit of people off is at a 35-point level, we're giving everybody a 10-minute round as opposed to a 7-minute round. But that's specifically because we have a lot of new players coming in. Many people who've only played for maybe about 2 or 3 months at this point. So, like I said, we're trying to foster kind of a casual atmosphere with this specific tournament, get everybody a chance to kind of get their feet wet before they come to the event. So.
How many are you expecting today?
I was expecting about 8. We may see a little bit more though, so, which is good. And you know, it's great to meet guys from Jackson and everything. So it's kind of exciting because you know in Mississippi, it's you know the community is so spread out. It's often kind of hard to network with other gamers, and so community building is a little bit more difficult. So you know it's good to see more people out.
So what can you tell me, what's the history of the Starkville Hobby Club?
Actually, it was a bunch of us who just met at one gentleman, his name is Teague. We were a bunch of wargamers and just nerds in general, and there's no store or other public space available for us to play games, so we all got together, and after realizing that Teague's house was a little bit too small for about 16 people to cram into every Saturday, we just bit the bullet and rented out this space here. We renovated it. It looked awful when we first came in, but we repainted it, we put in new floors, we built the tables, all the like the shelving space, and a lot of the terrain was either donated or built. We've got a whole other section on the other side of the wall that's got a hobby workshop and a role-playing room and everything, and it's just kind of a nice little communal
he's not a
space.
unit. He can't get.
I'm continually pleasantly surprised by the club itself, specifically because when I was running events before, I was running them for a gaming store. And the problem with that was, typically in terms of keeping the place clean or taking care of the terrain or, anything else that may, any level of responsibility that someone might be able to take for the gaming space and the reputation of the group. You didn't see a lot of the people that were coming in and playing casually, taking that kind of responsibility. I think largely because they're just, there was someone who's paid to do that. But here, everybody really takes a really cool sense of ownership, which is really nice. So it's a really, really, really supportive community, which I really
I'll bring my list in here
personally.
So it's a communal thing.
Yes. It is
A geek's version of a commune.
yeah. I think if we could find some way to order stuff as a store, I'm sure we would, but that might be a little bit too much work. A lot of us are students and or there are a couple of professors that come here, and most of the people in the club are 21 or over, so we've all got day jobs, which kind of cuts into nerd time. It's cool.
Chance. How long have you been playing Warmachine?
I was telling him, Kyle.
3 weeks. 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're playing
whether or not, but
Playing
it'll
Red
help with activations at least.
Ron and Bureaus.
What made you choose those?
I don't know, they look like anime, I guess. I play Eldar when I play 40k, so I guess it's closest.
He's a winner all around.
This is a bad idea, probably. I don't even know how to play them.
That's his strategy. Stay with
I just
elves
wanted to
in
paint
every
them.
tabletop.
Well, I don't even like elves normally, but I picked them. I like the guns, they're cool. So hopefully they'll stay cool. They seem pretty simple as long as I get the activations right, which I don't half the time.
What's your name, man?
I'm Sean, also known as Charles.
What are you playing today?
I'm bringing Kador.
I've always favored the simple.
Heating strike hammer.
And occasionally pulling out a couple
And then you just move them
He's got
sideways.
some puffy pants.
That's the only
Just
way.
in
He's
case
rocking the
today.
parachute, son.
How long you been playing Warmachine?
I'm so
On
glad
and
that
off
Cole
for
playing
about
scoring, man. That's awesome.
2 years.
Dude, it's gonna be
I mean,
some hot
as
scoring.
far as number of games are concerned, I'm still kind of an amateur, but
These big
I've done a lot of
pachyderms
time
slam
reading
each
and
other.
playing games.
That is great.
Maxine the swordsman.
Yeah, about 2
You all
years.
have different
on and
lists?
How do you feel about your chances today?
You have different lists?
Well, it is
You all
snowing
have extremely
outside,
different
so
Um,
I'll take that as an
I was
omen.
about to say,
I see a lot of elephants.
I'm not going to. I'm going to try and not lose all my games today.
Are you getting
So-
2 against the swordsman? What's
Now
the
math is hard. That is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Power 14.
So what's your name, man?
Dalton.
How long you been playing Warmachine?
Month and a half now.
And what are you bringing to the table today?
I am bringing the Legion of Everblight.
So what's your name, man?
If I had the magic,
Cole.
I could give them like advanced
All
deployment.
How long you been playing Warmachine?
Lesser of
2
War
weeks.
Beasts gain advanced deployments.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
Had you talked to Kyle at all?
What's your name?
Well, here's
Kyle.
How long you been playing Warmachine?
About 2 weeks.
So what's your name, man?
I'm Alex.
How long you been playing Warmachine? I'm noticing a theme here. I'm noticing a theme.
He's a PG.
I'm the other PG.
All right.
And so I'm helping Bob with the tournament today.
So you're not playing, judging
Not playing,
today.
just judging.
Okay.
He always
Very
judges.
judgy.
I'm very judgy.
You think you could judge impartially? Won't be a problem. No.
That's the reason I'm not the main PG.
You have friends? Yeah, I understand. So what's your name, man?
Isaac.
How long you been playing Warmachine?
Not long.
Would you say 2 weeks?
It's been a little longer than 2 weeks.
Because that has been that's the most common response to that question.
Got to bump butts with people on that side.
On table 4, we have Kyle. Oops, I done it again. And the Cole train.
The first round.
And first round bye goes to the Holy Pontiff. Who's
Church.
Okay.
We gotta have Isaac to it. Have you added Isaac yet?
Isaac's playing Will.
Yeah.
You put this on the code.
Alright.
Okay, so guys, what I want you to do is go ahead and get your armies and stuff moved over. Do not start setting up just yet. Do not reveal what caster you are using. Don't do any of that stuff. Just bring your stuff over there and set it down. And then we will start when I give you the signal. What's going to happen is, before we actually start the game, before we start deployment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the scenario really briefly. After I go over the scenario, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you to reveal which caster you are playing with. So although you will know which faction generally you are playing against, you will not know which list your opponent is using. After the reveal, I'll tell you guys to go ahead and start. That's when you roll off to see who basically goes first, second, and figuring out
You don't get to
deployment
pick your
zones.
caster after you know what list your opponent has?
You just get you both reveal your casters at the same time. Yeah.
That's some cheating there.
Well, don't we get to see what two lists they have?
Yeah, we at least get to see
Yeah,
what-
you can
okay.
see. You can
we
see
didn't go over that step.
But,
Yeah,
but
your
okay, Mike. You can ask-
that. I mean, I'm just saying.
I did technically say that you can ask to see your opponent's list at any time.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Then he told us to hide them.
He said no.
Well,
show
no,
everybody.
I said don't show
But then
them
you
which
can
one
ask.
you're choosing.
Until
But that's right. At
we
any rate,
start.
you can always ask to see which lists your opponent has, but you do not actually pick which one you select. You don't reveal which one you selected until I tell you to reveal. So
You have more than one of those.
So this is a little,
real quick.
This
So
is
round one, the
infantry
first.
heavy versus more
Okay. So the first round, we're doing supply and demand. Every single scenario we're doing today is using the artifice of killbox. So if at the end of your second turn you find that your caster or warlock is outside of the killbox, which means he has to be wholly in 14 inches of of any of the sides, then you lose because you're no longer in the killbox. Now
Wait, what? You gotta be inside?
you have to be inside the killbox, so you have to be 14 inches away from.
Okay, so you want
Any
to
of
be
the
past the
sides.
14 inches?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that they did add is that at any point in time, during your warlock or warcaster's activation, and only during their activation, you can measure 14 inches from any side of the board. So, but that is the only time you can ever actually measure that pseudo objective. Anyway, so we're all playing with killbox. The other thing is we're playing supply and demand, which means we have a control zone in the middle, and it's flanked by two little supply caches that are objectives. So I just want to go over real quick how you control a zone, and I'm just going to read it directly from the tournament description so that there is no ambiguity. So, to contest, a player must own at least one model within a zone, within 4 inches of a flag, or within 2 inches of an objective, to contest a zone, flag, or objective. Enemy objectives contest zones that they are within, and flags within 4 inches of other flags within 4 inches, and other objectives within 2 inches. Warcasters, warlocks, inert warjacks, wild war beasts, models that are fleeing, and models that are under an opponent's control cannot contest. Enemy objectives cannot contest themselves. Control. A player cannot control a zone, flag, or objective that he dominates. See zone, basically, we'll get to dominating. To dominate. A player dominates a zone if he owns one or more Warcaster or Warlock models within it and no opponent contests it. A player dominates a flag if he owns one or more Warcaster or Warlock models in base-to-base with a flag and an opponent does not contest it. A player dominates an objective if he owns one or more Warcaster or Warlock models within 2 inches of that objective. Some of the scenarios are going to add additional requirements for dominating, but in this case we don't have that. With the possible exception of the fact that enemy Warcasters and Warlocks cannot dominate the zone while this model is in their control range. So basically what happens is whenever a Warcaster dominates an objective, your opponent cannot dominate the zone so long as the Warcaster is inside of their control range. Does that make sense? Okay. So, other than that, just going back over objectives. Actually, wait, that's pretty much about it. In this case, what we're having is, at the end of the second player's second turn, we're going to start tallying control points. You get a control point if your enemy objective is destroyed. You only get that once per objective. Or you get 2 control points if you dominate the enemy objective. Additionally, you get a control point if you control the zone, and you get 2 control points if you dominate that zone. The first player to 5 control points wins. You can also win by assassination, as always. Remember, in the new 2013 Steamroller, if you assassinate, the round resolves, and then you resolve any control points at the end of that round as if you made it to the very end of that round. So even if you get assassinated, you can still get more control points. Or if you assassinate, you can still get more control points. You can also lose by kill box. Everybody clear?
Being out of the kill box gives your opponent 2 points. It's not death.
It's not
Oh, it's not death anymore?
It's just 2 points.
Oh.
You get points.
Oh, you're right, Okay, excuse me.
You don't auto die for being outside. You just yield. Is it 1 or 2?
2.
So you net 4 points if your ass is outside.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna get it. You get it in both turns or just in your own turn?
Wow.
So
Pretty much instant death.
things about these objectives: their supply cache. Basically, they've got defense 5, their large base, their armor 15, they've got 15 damage boxes. They are immobile. You cannot move them. You can't do anything to them, basically. However, you can destroy them. And while a Warcaster dominates this objective, any models beginning their activation within 2 inches of it can run or charge without spending focus or being forced. So that's it. All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is start the timer, and at that point,
is this a control point or no?
that is an objective. That is the
You
cache.
can't control it. This is the only zone where
Your opponent can control
You
it.
want to kill your opponents.
Okay.
You can only dominate or destroy your objectives. You cannot control them.
If you're a troll with Fury 5, it's pretty easy to stay.
Hell yeah, son.
Okay.
So we gotta look at lists, then we start the timer, correct?
Basically, what I'm going to say is, on the count of 3, go ahead and reveal which list you're using.
Well,
we gotta
look at
those
those
two lists. Here, here's my
So
two
we see-
lists.
we have-
You can look at the 2
It was
lists.
like 5 minutes.
Everybody will.
Because earlier we didn't know.
Take a guess which
Okay,
one.
that's good.
You can look at mine. I got P.
2 hours later.
So now that the first round is over, so we move on to round 2, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Actually, it was pretty good. We ordinarily we at our club, we had a meta for the last group of people where it was very, very assassination heavy. It seems like a lot of people were really trying to rack up control points, which is cool. You know, it means we're starting to see a greater variety of lists, which for someone who's basically just watching is more interesting to see than the same list played over and over again.
So who were our winners from last round?
So for our last round, right now in first place we got Will Howard, who's got 1 tournament point and 5 control points. Then we've got Teague. All these guys in the winners bracket right now have 1 tournament point, but Teague's got 4 control points. Then we have the Holy Pontiff, who by way of the bye got 3 control points. Kyle, the Golden Child, has 2, and then Oops, I Done It Again is at 0, but he still got the win from the assassination. So.
All right.
So we've got a nice spread here. I have to figure out who gets the bye after this. So.
Are you going to choose randomly, or, I mean, can it come from the winners too? The people that won last round?
No. The people who won last round do not automatically get a bye.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because apparently I have to randomly select a player from those with the lowest tournament point totals. Yep. Anybody got a D4?
I don't have a D4.
Or we could just take a D6 and reroll 4s and 5s.
Okay.
I have my dice bag. I have a D4.
Alright. 2. Isaac.
Oh.
Basically, I've already set up the zones and the flags as, demonstrated up on there. Remember, these are flags. They are incorporeal. At any rate, so, looking down there, again, starting at the second player's second turn, or end of the second player's second turn, you start tallying your control points. For control of the zone, you get 1 control point. For domination, you get 2. You only get 1 control point if you dominate the flag. Now, for one little bit of special rules, when we're calculating army points, this time what we're doing is we are calculating army points based on the number, or based on the point value of the models that you have that survive. Now, any models that are within the zone, or within 4 inches of the flag, count double for their value of AP. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Was it the 3rd tiebreaker?
Yep, it's the 3rd tiebreaker. So here are the.
Shit my pants.
Might want to edit that out.
So you're telling me he's getting the bye to go change, right?
Going down here.
Somebody's got to powder him up.
No, dude. He gets to play with shitty pants. Wow, this is your future, man. Staring at you. That's what epic means. Your future is brown.
A few moments later. I don't need no instructions to know how to rock.
Still nobody got
9
this
inches
well.
would be
If
so
not,
hop over.
I mean, just look at all the units that you can
I
get
got to get
completely
the
in there.
Okay.
3.
I don't think I want to do that.
What about,
That's a bad idea.
So it's a spa. Get in the hot tub.
I think you're winning in 26.
My name in your hand right now.
Well, I mean, it depends on how good you do in the rap battle afterwards.
Oh, damn. Freak got some mad rap battles.
Do you?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
No,
Got
I'm-
mad
Can you show us for the camera?
No, I can't.
Break down the
I'm not embarrassed.
I wanted to go.
I'll
do it.
represent you
I
on
kind of
my
wanted to see it.
I'd win a Christmas rap.
Okay. So, before we start this, guys, from Jackson in particular, thanks for coming out. This is awesome. Having this many people come on out to our little club is fucking rad, actually. So, I had a really fun time. It was cool. I hope you guys did too.
One more before the end of the school year?
Yeah, one more before the end of the school year. So, it should be fun. I'm thinking actually about doing a Blood, Sweat, and Tears tournament. So, it should be themed tier list.
Tier list.
No, I'm gonna bomb his message for a second. I think we should thank him for hosting all this and putting it together. Doing a great job.
Your hand job is waiting, sir.
Reshuffle the papers.
Put me on top, motherfucker. Oh, sorry.
Well, okay, before I take all the credit for that, like, Will, Dalton, Kyle, thanks for like coming in and cleaning up and like redoing the table.
Dude, it looks so good.
Cole, like,
It looks so good.
the reason I was planning on coming in here so early because I thought that's what I was gonna have to do. But you guys did it for me. So I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll eat some donuts. So thank you.
They're worth
very much.
Just sit back, eat some donuts, and then it all happen.
All right. So third place with 2 tournament points, 3 control points, and 103 army points for the highest army point total. Is Will Howard.
Yeah.
He got 80 on that last
Pizza.
Call him the pizza stacker.
Pass it on.
Pass it to the man.
You drop it. Coin checker.
Alright. In second place, with 2 tournament points, 10 control points for the highest control point total, and 90 army points, and an asshat.
Close.
Kyle, the Golden Styles.
Thank you, sir. Much obliged. Wrong one.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
I will take the gold one. But
It's like my math professor used to tell me. There are precisely 3 types of mathematicians: those who can count and those who cannot. Oh wait.
I think you didn't win.
You were about to win first answer. Yeah. And in first place, with an unbeaten record, so 3 tournament points, 4 control points, and 68 army points, Teague.
Yeah. Sir.
Thanks, sir.
What up?
Guys, thanks.
It was fun.
Awesome.
Had fun.
So, yeah.
Well, that's anticlimactic. Yeah, we won. All right.
I don't know, I might be going out for beers or something.
Get outta
I'm going to give
here.
you guys a call.
I vote Kyle for Mr. Congeniality.
Which guy? That guy?
Oh, yeah.
Epic crime.
Generational league over here.
Prime Kyle for sure. Yeah, dude. I mean, you're probably the least experienced. Is that the general sentiment? You and Cole right
In
about
all
the same.
respects.
And Isaac. Well,
And
I'm a
Isaac.
little bit.
There's a bunch of them.
I've been playing the same amount of
Y'all
time.
did
1
make me
month.
sweat a little bit. I was like, you got a super secret strategy number 2, and he's about to get.
We need to get
The most playing I did before this was just with like a battle box, so it didn't really count.
Yeah.
Never played tournament style or objectives. We always played.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
yeah.